Ready. Play.
It was strange. Rybakina, not at her best, but done enough to start her title defense.
Yeah, right. Volley nets, of course, can push many people, including the right buttons where Nerlan is concerned. Anyway, Rybakina is through, and she's going to be playing on Jabeur in arguably the most interesting quarterfinal coming up. Rybakina against Jabeur, I think it's just very difficult to predict which Elena and which Ons is going to turn up. Would you be particularly excited for that match if, Damien, you happen to be in Abu Dhabi right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely quite a huge one, the rematch of a Wimbledon final. The story is there. Ons typically would be seeded higher than, well, unseeded as she was in this event, right? So typically it wouldn't happen in a quarterfinal, let's just say. And then I think it's definitely the best one on tomorrow's schedule, the headliner. And right now, with how Rybakina is looking, and obviously Ons having her most healthy start to the season since ages, yeah, I mean it's definitely looking like a potential quality clash.
She's kind of in a not quite as it's very different in terms of how they've got to their situations, but she's someone who's in a bit of a Medvedev-esque sort of situation where when she's in the early rounds of tournaments, unless she's steamrolling opponents, which often she's not, such as today, she is kind of in this sort of, we still don't really know what to expect. And in fact, more often than not, since Wimbledon in particular, what we have come to expect is either a departure from the tournament or, a retirement or withdrawal. However, I guess her loss to Madison Keys, Damien, has at least aged quite well, right?
It has aged well, and I don't think it was a particular concern, but still in that match. But there was still that back injury against Jastrzębska, so Australia kind of represented the same issues again. And yeah, I mean, as long as she doesn't produce another big Grand Slam run, it's gonna be very hard for us to put her in the same conversation as Sabalenka, Świątek, Goff. Like that's kind of been the story of last year, more or less, right? I mean, early 2024, she's just as good as Świątek, but kind of at some point you have to arrive at a moment where, like, who cares? You're not doing well at the slams.
Yeah, indeed. Fergus, are you going to give me a prediction for this particular encounter? And you don't have to go too detailed. I don't want to hear about backhand winners down the line for breaks of serve or anything. Although it was fun. I don't know if you saw the way I captioned your prediction for, I think it might have been Keys against Sabalenka in the final.
I was so wrong, so it doesn't really matter either way. I was so far off.
I think we all were.
Yeah, I think Jabeur. You go back to last year and how Rybakina won this title. She was, as you were talking about, steamrolling people. Like, there wasn't much of a challenge thrown up last year for Rybakina. And she won that title with relative ease. And this year, I just think Jabeur's had more matches under her belt. And I think she's got a bit more confidence about her at the moment, Jabeur. So I think Jabeur in 3, maybe.
Nice. All right. I mean, Rybakina was obviously a year ago in a very different place. She'd beaten Sabalenka comfortably, I think, in Brisbane. Rybakina is probably trying to clutch at it because, yeah, she was in a very different position a year ago to where she is now, and obviously winning in Abu Dhabi as well, post-Australia. And the loss she had in Australia, I don't think set off too many alarm bells. It was more what happened in the rest of the season that probably did for that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.